St. James, reporting from Virginia on Rex St. Clyde's childhood. This will be my first installment. I've chose to use the YouTube because it's most convenient for me. If anybody really wants something written, tell all the children to write me an independent letter and we can communicate that way. So anyway, I'm at my house and my wife will stand up and give a little pan the area. You'll get a little idea where we live. The river's right behind me, the Rappahannock River. Can't see it much right now because of the foliage growing, but it's very pretty. It's nice here. Okay, you can get back to me now. There you go. And my first story is about Clyde, who was Rocky at the time. Clyde never liked Clyde because when we were children, the name Clyde was kind of a funny name, and Clyde didn't like it until he grew up and knew better. It meant a strong man, and we didn't know that. We were kids. We were uneducated and uncouth. Well, we lived in a poor neighborhood. We had rats, and this is a rat story. I first met Clyde when we were about 5 or 6 years old. Down at the end of the block where the grocery store was for the neighborhood, Clyde lived across the street behind the gas station everybody used, and 4 or 5 houses in a row. He was the second one down. I lived up the block, about a block up the street, and I wandered down there. We met, we became friends, and Clyde took me in his house, and I met his mom and dad, Betty and James Otis, and his brother James and Francis, and he had a spider monkey. That was the kind of monkey you see with the organ grinder with the little hat. He had a little spider monkey, and it was pretty neat. How he got it, I don't know, but it was pretty bizarre for our neighborhood. But we'd play with the little spider monkey, and I'd go down and visit him, every couple of 3 days when I was allowed to cross the street. And after about a month, I went down there and I asked Clyde, I said, "Where's your spider? Where's the monkey, Clyde?" Rocky, he didn't want to go by Clyde. He'd get mad if we called him Clyde. So I said, "Rocky, where's your monkey?" He says, "Well, he died." I said, "He died?" I said, "What happened to him?" He says, "Well, he got sick and the rats got him." I said, "Oh, no kidding." He said, "Yeah, if he hadn't been sick, he could always fight those rats off, but he got sick and we found him up behind a radiator." It was the water radiator, and they drug him up there and started chewing on him. I said, "Well, no, that's too bad." And that was the spider monkey story. Rocky, Clyde, you really like that monkey. But I can tell you about rats. We were a poor neighborhood, and most everybody had a rat in their house. I had a basement. My grandmother told me to never go in that basement, and so I didn't. And I'll get back to you on the rat story some other time.